Greetings, everyone. I am Fred Galvan Jr., and this is my second channel. As you can tell by the title, we will be breaking down the awful tragic story of the Alton school bus accident for you. We had originally mentioned before that this would be a 3-part series. Well, we made a mistake. The series will now be a 4-part series due to the excessive information we've gathered from our research. Maybe you're wondering, why this series? Why the Alton bus accident? Well, 2 reasons. Reason number 1, a relative of mine reached out to me whom I look up to enormously and said that maybe we should leave this story alone. Let the deceased rest. We know this can be a sensitive issue for some or for many. We get it. But the truth is that this event, it is historical. You just call it history, if you will. According to the dictionary, history is the study of past events, more specifically connected to human affairs. You could say it's a documentation of our past, which includes triumphs, mistakes, and tragedies. To leave this incident untouched and or unexplained because it was tragic and lives were lost, would we have ever learned about slavery that happened in our very own country? Would we have learned about the Holocaust? What about 9/11? Should we do away with history books? All we are doing and what we want to do is we're tracing the narrative of this event and analyzing the patterns that emerge to provide perspective. Reason number 2, throughout the years, people would mention this event to each other from time to time in passing conversations. As time progressed, the Alton stories kept changing. What started off as factual stories somehow became these bizarre tales. And those tales kept getting taller and taller. Now, the polite person that I am, the polite person that I would like to think I am, well, I would hear what these people had to say about it. And certainly, I must have pulled off funny looks of, what? In return. I know that because of their facial reaction to my facial reaction. No, the mayor at the time was not into brujeria. No. So let's get that out of our heads once and for all. You can say that we just want to set the record straight and give those affected by this the respect they deserve. But before we get into this hard event, we feel compelled to tell you how the town of Alton came about first, for a better comprehension of what we will be unfolding throughout this series. But we're gonna begin that explanation right after this. Welcome back, homies, and welcome to the Fred Galvan Show. As mentioned, we will begin the story from the very, very beginning, where it all started. Alton was founded in 1911 by citizens and railroad officials of Alton, Illinois, and the Alton, Illinois Railroad. Now, this new Alton, it was just a piece of land by what they called at that time the Spider Web Railroad. Back then, the railroad was the primary source of shipping. It was at that time the Rio Grande Valley, where Alton is, was known to have an abundance of produce, and many other parts of the country were eager to get their hands on that fresh produce. Needless to say, RGV was booming with this botanical gold mine. Alton was kind of known for produce, but it was better known for sedimentary rock, aka caliche. Caliche was the perfect product to ship to the northern states for construction projects. The Alton Railway of Alton, Illinois, which is about 16 to 18 miles north of St. Louis. Anyhow, well, they made their way to the valley to be the main shipper for caliche. About 50 workers of the Alton Railway began to settle in this hardly known town in the southern tip of Texas. And they took advantage of making Alton one of the last stops of the famous Spiderweb Railroad. They excavated and shipped tons of caliche and shipped it to the northern states. Eventually, this tiny town had already grown because of the caliche, that it established a post office and a 6th grade campus, or a 6th grade school, but it was managed by the Hidalgo County School Superintendent and was later consolidated into Mission ISD. It should start making sense by now, RGV peeps. In 1912, businessman and developer John H. Sherry took a big interest in the RGV fruit and vegetable market and wanted a piece of the pie. Who could blame him? He was pretty successful because from 1912 to 1923, he produced and subdivided over 50,000 acres of land in Alton's neighboring city of Mission, Texas. In 1915, Mr. Sherry purchased an irrigation project from the city of Mission's founder, Mr. John Conway, which led to the creation of the United Irrigation Company, or the UIC, which supplied water to more than 55,000 acres of land. At this point, a few of Alton locals, along with some immigrants, well, they began to help out, digging out canals, ditches, removed brush, and laid some roads for the new development of citrus farms. As the citrus business started booming, also came the need for more water. Although Mission was booming due to Mr. Sherry's citrus orchards, Alton was also growing, but at a lot slower rate. Alton kept mining sedimentary rock for about another 20 years until it pretty much came to a screeching halt due to the decline of the Spiderweb Railroad. Well, technology was to blame. Technology changed the use for railroads with the invention of motor vehicles, the construction of roads, highways, and eventually led to the abandonment of the Spiderweb Railroad. In April 1st, 1978, San Juanita Zamora became Alton's first mayor, and she fought hard and took advantage of many federal grants that allowed the city to supply running water, sewer systems, and roads to the colonias, which were highly inhabited by Mexicans and Mexican-American families. Regardless of Ms. Zamora's victories for her small town and the slow development of its population, Alton still went unrecognized for a long while shortly after the demolition of the Spiderweb Railroad. So long gone were the days of the prosperous caliche days. Caliche in Alton was long forgotten for decades, until 7:34 a.m., September 21st, 1989. A date that for many of us will live in infamy. That day, many school children would be evicted of their innocent and sheltered lives. The small town of Alton and its residents' history would be changed forevermore. See you soon.
September 21st, 1989. The worst school bus crash in Texas history took 21 young lives much too soon.